All right. Hi, everybody. David Fogel back with you, CEO of the Symphonina Foundation. Back for another Symphonina Foundation podcast. We're on a roll as we approach the first round of the Grammy voting, which will start October 3rd. We have a podcast guest pretty much every day, sometimes two, and we're happy to share everybody with you. And today I have virtuoso-harpist Alexander Boldachev, who has an entry, Pop Meets Classical Volume 2, and Pop Meets Classical Volume 2 implies that Pop Meets Classical Volume 1 was a smash hit. So congratulations to you, Alex, and it's a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you. Thank you. Pleasure to meet you, David.
Yeah,
Nice to be here.
Yeah, thank you. I had Kirsten Agresta Copley as a harp player on our program maybe a month ago or something. And as I said to her, I'll say to you too, the harp, when you look at it as an uninformed person, looks kind of like a simple thing. It looks like a piano. You pluck the strings, okay, it makes noise. But as soon as you learn just a little bit more about the harp, it's like, oh my goodness, what a complex instrument you have to master, and you have mastered it. It's just a delight to listen to you perform. I mean, every single thing is like heavenly and great. And I have to ask you, like, how did you get started playing the harp? What was it that brought you to the instrument, and how long did it take you to get this good?
Well, thank you, David. I think that the instrument is just the tool. So we are all using, I see there are a lot of instruments behind your back.
Yes, I have
And
many saxophones and
yeah,
guitars
and
here.
they look not easy at all.
Yes.
And I think when we have something to tell, something to share, we can use any instrument. I start with the piano, and of course, basically speaking, the harp is the same piano. So when I switched to the harp, I was playing just the same composition. So the like
Yeah, amazing,
Chopin,
right?
Chopin, Debussy, Liszt, Beethoven, Bach, and so on and so on. So the harp is an instrument which basically unites a lot of different sounds. So it's also in the same way sounds like a guitar, and because of the open strings. So that's why I love to use the harp for arrangements like. For example, Red Hot Chili Peppers and all my crossover, how we call it, crossover arrangements. In the same time, the harp is also the drum instrument because we have here kind of a cajon, like a lot of possibilities to make all the drum sounds.
Yeah.
And so that was my entire life, like exploring the instruments, trying to see what else I can do, what else I can play on that. So I was playing jazz and rock and pop and of course a lot of classical music. I'm a classically trained musician. I started when I was like age of 3 because my mother is professor for the piano, so I started the piano. Then I switched to the harp in the age of 5. I still play the piano, but only for composing, arranging, doing some practical work because piano is like most practical instrument. You have everything under the hands. You can see, you can see everything here. Beside what you see here, all these 47 strings. We also have pedals there. You don't see seven pedals. So all the changes of the sound is done with the pedals. So the pitch. So it's always the work in between, very small work here, like because your hands are in the air and you need to get the exact sound. Plus you have the pedals and the mechanics, 2,500 details here, which are controlling all the pitch and the sound. So the harp is difficult not as the instrument, but just as the concept. that you need to control at the same time so many things. And in a way, harp is kind of instrument which sounds good from the very beginning. I mean, you bring anyone, you bring a kid to the harp, he's doing something like, and that's it. I mean, you don't need this,
I'm
you
hooked.
don't
That's
need
it. That's right.
you don't need a skill. You don't need a skill to play, to start playing the harp. But then when you want all these small colors, because I would say, not because I'm harpist, but as a musician, that the harp is the most versatile instrument because like when you play piano, you control the note through the mechanic, the hammer which goes there. And when you play the violin, most of the time you control the string with the bow and with the hairs. And here it's like you control the sound with the tip of your finger. And it changed tremendously how much skin I use, what is my skin is dry or wet
Hmm.
or yeah, so and also like also here, like when I go up and down, for example, the sound will be different from here to here.
Yeah, so
Also,
you're
if I
plucking
play,
at the bottom of the strings rather than the middle of the strings. Yeah,
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 or the
yeah,
nails, or
yeah.
something,
Little
something
Hiroshima
more
sound there. Yeah,
yes, ethnic, something more
yeah,
Japanese.
yeah.
So there is a lot of different sounds, and also the most exciting thing is like every single nation, every single country, they have their own harp. So like their own concept of harp historical. So like in Brazil, they have Brazilian harp, Venezuelan harp, Paraguayan harp, Chinese harp, the Japanese harp. So whatever harp is there. So this is like a quintessence of 10,000 years of development of the concept of this instrument. So yeah.
It's amazing. So let me ask a practical question. As a 5-year-old, you're not very tall. That instrument can be quite big. So how does a 5-year-old actually learn to play the harp?
So right now we use the Celtic harps, which are smaller,
Hmm.
just but it's different instrument. It's not that they're not for children. It's just smaller instrument. We don't
Okay.
have like we have different sizes of harp. We have 46 string harp, which is a little bit smaller student harp. But basically, I was starting in Russia, 1995 in St. Petersburg, and it was just after the collapse of Soviet Union, so we didn't have any instruments,
Mm.
not even so many grand harps, and of course no Celtic harps. So I was starting with the already big harp, so I had a lot of books to sit on, and of course I couldn't reach the
Yeah.
pedals. Then we
Yeah.
were doing special things to adjust the pedals, making them higher. So that was tough beginning, but then actually I think that made my life easier in the future.
Yeah. Did you go as a professional musician then from age, let's say 3? That was what you were going to do. And did you go to music school anywhere, or did you study under somebody later on in life that was particularly impactful to you?
Well, I started right away with different schools, like first, like for the talented children, that Lyceum in St. Petersburg, under conservatory. Then in the age of 15, I moved to Switzerland, where I am now. I studied there harp, composition, arrangement, conducting, and piano.
Mm.
So like everything what I could could find, and of course I had a lot of different teachers, starting with my mother. She's just brilliant teacher for everything, for the music and for the piano. Of course, my teacher Catherine Michel, she was a spouse of Michel Legrand for a while, like for 12 years. They were traveling together. I think yes, I got everything possible from the teachers, from the harp. Now, I think that most important, of course, is that I did other subjects like composition and arrangement and everything, because it's, I wouldn't say the harp repertoire is limited, but a harp repertoire has limited possibilities. Because if I would make a concert or an album with rare compositions on the harp, or even famous compositions on the harp, but written by harp composers like Renier, Tournier, Salcedo, Grangiani, and so on, so on. Most of the people, they don't know this music. Or my brand should be like so high that people would listen whatever I play.
Mhm.
Or the harp should be so popular. In the current situations, neither happening. So I really concentrating to promote the instrument, to promote its possibilities. I don't want to be a cover musician. If playing Beethoven, Chopin, and Debussy sounds also like a cover musician, but yes, I mean I did 350 transcriptions with for the harp solo, harp and orchestra, symphony orchestra, chamber orchestra, choir, all the instruments, and so on, so on. It's mostly just to bring the harp to the people, to predict that they will listen to what I play.
Indeed. So when you are, let's talk about that, Phil. When you're making your selections about what's going to go on an album like Pop Meets Classical Volume 2, and I'm hoping there's going to be a Pop Meets Classical Volume 3 at some point. When you're making the decision about what to include in that album, how do you go about choosing what you want to play?
By playing thousands of different compositions. So just I take IMSLP or any MuseScore, any website with the music, and I just read a lot of different compositions. And when I hear, oh, here I can work because arrangement, any kind of transcription should bring some value to this world. It's not about just playing something that you like and just, okay, well, I like this music, I will play it on the harp. It will not sound good, but whatsoever. So I'm just picking what I think would be interesting and would benefit the harp and benefit the music market. And for example, like my headliner track on the album is Bohemian Rhapsody by
Yep.
Queen,
Yep.
the arrangement. And somehow this composition sounds on the harp like nothing else. I mean, it's like a perfect mix of everything. It gives the harp possibility to show also the plucked sound, a lot of attacca and sustain and the melodies and the technique and everything. So I mean, it's just like kind of the ultimate music. It's a great music just in general, but it also benefits the harp the most. So somehow that was a match.
And you have other choices of things to do with whether something is like a well-known rock ballad or pop ballad or maybe something newer. Those are other choices too. Do you try to make a blend of those things, or how does that work for you?
So right now I am in the part of the life. So first of all, I am transferring myself to LA.
Okay,
Start a few projects in LA, and I will be teaching in Pacific University, Azusa,
great.
just on the right corner. For me, right now is more important to compose my own compositions because I did quite a lot, but I want to finish the concerto, which I didn't finish for a while, and I want to collaborate with a lot of other artists. Doesn't matter if it's singers, saxophone, rap, jazz, blues,
Nice.
rock, whatever. I have also like behind me this kind of harps, which are like looks like more like a rock harp. It's basically like the same concept like a Celtic instrument. So instead of the pedals, you change the strings here, but
Hmm.
it's amplified. It's just
Oh,
jack,
okay.
simple jack, and then you have the harp, which is electroacoustic. And
Yeah.
yeah, you can also show off on the stage because the only thing about the harp is like I'm not so much movable.
Right.
I'm grounded to the floor in the same position, so which wouldn't be so exciting for the show, like I don't know, Las Vegas show.
Right.
So that's why I have for Las Vegas I have extra harps.
That's good. One more time back to the album. I do want to have a quick question. Not only do you have things like Bohemian Rhapsody and Yesterday and other pop tunes we know, but you have Scarlatti and you have Paganini and you have other classical composers. So again, just to come back to what you're thinking is when you're creating the next volume, you try and get that mix every time when you're looking at that, try to blend those two worlds together, or what's your focus?
My focus is to blend. That's it. We can concentrate, but like my last album is not around here, but it's just last week, is the music of Johann Sebastian Bach and Arvo Pärt. Both of the composers have jubilee this year. Pärt is 90 years old, Bach is 340 years old. They're exactly 250 in between. So I thought like I need to do arrangements. So I did four popular music by Bach, four popular music by Pärt on the harp. And by mixing, or like on the volume 2 and 1, by mixing different genres, different composers, I am aiming to create this kind of bridges. Because also when I play my solo concerts, and most of the time during the year, I play just a solo harp concerts, so up to 120 per year. Normally, I just mix everything. So I mix classical and baroque and pop, rock, my own compositions to create this feeling that it's just one big tree. You're just turning this tree around and you see different leaves, but it's not that the music, if it's classical, it's boring, or if it's rock, then it's too intense.
Right.
And I have very versatile audience on my concerts. And my favorite moment when people come after the concert and they say like, "Oh, I like your concert, but especially Chopin is my favorite." And another comes and say like, "Oh yes, but Scorpion was great." And everyone has
Yeah, yeah,
something
yeah.
for themselves, and this is amazing.
That is great. You do a lot of solo concerts. I think you have one coming up in just a couple of days, right? Where you are in Switzerland?
So I just performed in Paris. I was presenting. After tomorrow, I play with the orchestra.
Hmm.
I just recorded album. It's in the process. It's 12 arrangements, which is also very special. There is harp, string orchestra, and the drums.
Okay.
And I arranged with my colleague who is teaching here in UCLA, composer and arranger. So we did, sorry, Sergei Nesterov, his name, and we did Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, Pirates of the Caribbean. We did game music, like all this 8-bit
Uh-huh.
from Mario
Yep.
and Pac-Man to Zelda and so
Nice.
on.
Nice.
And we did a lot of, and so tomorrow I play this program with the strings and so on, so on. It's
Yeah.
always on the run. And I wish that when I will come to Los Angeles, I hope that the market and the society there is so concentrated that I can stay at the same place for a while and
Yeah.
just work with myself, with the people, in collaborations and so on, so on. Just do something concentrated, because traveling every second day somewhere, not being at home sometimes for the months, it's of course very, very difficult.
Yes. I'm guessing you don't travel with an instrument. It seems like that's impossible to like make.
Like piano, I just
Yeah,
find
it's a
I
new
find
harp
the
every
instrument
time, and right, yeah. So, and then I think you're going to Mexico, if I remember right on your schedule after you.
Exactly, exactly. I
Mhm.
go to Mexico. I play six concerts there with the orchestra, and the highlight is the biggest work I achieved so far is Tchaikovsky Concert Suite. Because when I talk to the people, doesn't matter if they are from the musical sphere or not. When I say the harp, they say, "Ah, Tchaikovsky." But Tchaikovsky never wrote anything for the harp. So I took all his materials from Swan Lake, Sleeping Beauty, and Nutcracker, all the harp solos, duos, and everything, and I put it as the solo concert
Mhm.
suite. And original instrumentation by Tchaikovsky behind, just a little bit less in some places where I want to highlight the harp. And so now it's like 40 minutes concerto for harp and orchestra based on the famous ballet music.
It's
So
very
that's
kind of you
that's
to
what
do that.
I.
That's
Well,
that's
I think that it should work. Should
yes.
work. Yeah. So I
Yeah.
played that. I played that in Mexico, and yeah, among the other things.
Well, when you get to Los Angeles, of course, I'd be happy to come up and meet you sometime and stay in
Indeed.
touch. I did note you've performed. Gosh, like you say, not only when you've performed a lot, you've performed in Carnegie Hall, but you've also, I think, performed at Burning Man, which, there aren't that many artists I've interviewed anyway who can say they performed at Carnegie Hall and Burning Man. Do you have a favorite?
No, I don't have any things favorite. I like the life, the music, the people, the way they are right now in this moment. So I don't, I because I move too much, and I left Russia. I left a lot of things behind,
Yep.
and to protect myself from that, I'm just looking in the next day always and don't stop. So there is a, I mean, I know there is a new stage. I need to move to Los Angeles. I need to meet a lot of people, and this is the first time I am applying for Grammy.
Hmm.
And of course, this there is also a lot of work with the community, and I meet a lot of people every day now online. But then I will come to Los Angeles, and I hope to be connected. So let's see, let's see. There's a lot of plans, a lot of goals. I just need to keep it ongoing.
You'll be most welcome. And thank you for being so generous with your time with me today, too. It's just a delight to listen to you play, even for 30 seconds. Alex is tremendous. And you've achieved a lot with it. We wish you all the best with your Pop Meets Classical Volume 2 in the Grammys this year. And if people want to get in touch with you, what's the best way to do that?
So actually, I'm checking my Facebook, Instagram, and there are also WhatsApp and emails normally attached. And so I'm very responsive, I would say. Sometimes, of course, it takes a week, but but I always respond my messages. Yes, I don't want to take too much time playing the harp, but there are a lot of links. I hope also people can find my music everywhere on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, if you
Yeah.
like. And yeah, this year I am applying for classical compendium. So
Yep.
this album is classical compendium, and I hope that for the next year I will bring something new.
I'm sure you will. And if we can be of any help to you at the Symphonina Foundation, Alex, just please let us know anytime. We're going to listen to some more of your great playing on the way out here. And we wish you all the best.
Thank you.